Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right. From the Iowa Motor Speedway in Newton, Iowa, the NASCAR Cup Series presents the Iowa Corn 350, 306.25 miles, 350 laps, 3 stages, 70, 140, and 140, fuel window 105 to 115, 10 sets of Goodyear tires, 9 stickers, and the 1 qualifying set as well. Now, one thing that I would like to see NASCAR do is, as we move forward with stage racing, is let's have these stages, if possible. If we have to add a few lap stage races, let's do it. Where if fuel run is less than the full stage. So 70 laps in that first stage, fuel run 105 to 115. There's no need to pit unless tires go away. If we made the 3 stages based on 350 laps, 110, 120, 120, then you have to you have to gamble. You have to roll the dice. Do I want to try to do it on a fuel run? I don't think I can do it on tires. So that's going to force the strategy of pit stops and whatnot. Even if you added, I know Gateway is 300 and something miles, maybe it's 350, maybe 300, whatever. I think it's 300. Enjoy Illinois 300. We need to get back to the era of these races weren't less than 400 miles. Because when NASCAR went to the modern era in 1972, it's one of the things Winston did is eliminated the quarter-mile tracks and the under 400-mile tracks. Let's do 400 miles at Iowa, 400 miles at Gateway, and nothing more than, besides the Coke 600, nothing more than 500. Road courses we can kind of, I would say like 400K or something you could do, but that way you have let's call it 120, 140, 140 on stages, then those stages are going to have a pit stop. All right. Iowa is a 0.875 mile track, a little bit bigger than Richmond, looks like Richmond. A lot of the drivers say it doesn't drive like Richmond. But if you look at tracks in a similar size, so between 0.75 and 1.2, a little over 1, like the Richmond is 0.75. Phoenix is 1.00 something another. New Hampshire is 1 mile. Iowa, again, 0.875. Those 4 tracks have had 17 Cup races in the Gen 7 era. Christopher Bell, 4 wins, average finish 9.64. Denny Hamlin, 2 wins, average finish 9.82. Kyle Larson, 1 win, average finish 10.29. 3 of the biggest names in the sport, 2 Joe Gibbs, 1 Rick Hendrick. We know those are the guys up front week in, week out, no matter the track. Josh Berry, 11.25. His short track prowess is why he runs well at these tracks. Chase Elliott, again, Heck Motorsports. Team can win anywhere, 11.53 average finish. Chris Buescher, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, all average finish, 11.64, all with a win. Ross Chastain, 11.88 average finish, those tracks with a win. And Joseph Logano, or Joe, 12.05 with 2 wins. Now, again, it looks like Richmond, doesn't quite drive like Richmond. So if we look at who's done well at Richmond, again, it is a similar looking track. This track at Iowa was designed by Rusty Wallace. Denny Hamlin at Richmond, 5.0 average finish, 2 wins. Seabell, 7.33. Kyle Larson, 8.16 and a win. Joe Logano, 9.16. Chase Elliott, 9.2. Again, the who's who of NASCAR that are typically up front every week. Kyle Busch, 11.16. Unfortunately, he just trashed his primary car in practice. I know there's a lot of folks out there that say NASCAR needs to go back to a traditional weekend. What is that? Back in the 90s where we basically practiced longer than we ran races. Here's the thing about that. In the 25-minute practice we get now, you got guys like this destroying cars. Do you think if we had 3 days of practice, people wanted to destroy cars? Or more cars would get destroyed? Yeah. I'm not an advocate for no practice because I think we need some just to kind of shake the car down. I think we look at these racetracks as like Vegas and those are kind of similar to other tracks. Cookie cutter, some of them are called. I think if it's a cookie cutter, you get 30 minutes practice. If it's a track like Iowa where you only go to once a year and there's not really anything close to similar to it, and then maybe you get, 50 minutes, no more than that. At the speedways, I would say like 20, if that, 15. Enough to go out, run some laps, check some ride heights, make sure there's no leaks, and then be done. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not one to go on social media and tell everybody they're wrong and stupid because they have a different opinion. I'm just expressing my opinion. And a lot of folks say that I never criticize NASCAR. I never put NASCAR down. I don't run NASCAR. There's no criticizing to it. This is my opinion. Okay. Brad Keselowski, 11.3 average finish at 5 races at Richmond. Carson Hocevar, 11.5. Good run for him in Kaulig number 11 yesterday after the release of Josh Williams this week. We see that the issue at Kaulig's Xfinity program isn't the team. Sorry, it's not. Carson jumps in one race and runs up front. We know Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye are both rookies. They've been getting better week to week. So they got speed there at Kaulig Racing in Xfinity program. Joshua Williams just wasn't the guy, and you know what? Not everyone's a perfect fit. So hopefully he lands on his feet. Good luck to him. Chris Buescher, 12.66 and a win, and William Byron, 13.16. Now, last year, the only Cup race at Iowa, Ryan Blaney won Stage 1, followed by Larson, Suarez, Byron, Berry, Logano, LaJoy, Keselowski, Elliott, and Kyle Busch. Stage 2 is Kyle Larson, Josh Berry, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Todd Gilliland, Brad Keselowski, and Justin Haley. Only Ryan Blaney, Josh Berry, Brad Keselowski, and Chase Elliott finished in the top 10 in both stages and the race. Blaney ended up winning the race, followed by Byron, Elliott, Bell, Stenhouse, Logano, Berry, Bowman, Suarez, and Brad Keselowski. Ryan Blaney ran up front the entire day. He started second, having an average running position of 2.62. William Byron, 5.26 average running position. Chase Elliott, 5.52. Joey Logano, 7.48. Gina Suarez, 8.89. Brad Keselowski, 11.21. Ross Chastain, 11.81. Alex Bowman, 11.94. Seabell, 13.42. And then Bubba Wallace, 14.23. For NASCAR Fantasy Live today, I am out of starts. If you follow NASCAR Fantasy Live, in the first 26 races, you get 10 starts per driver. In the playoffs, final 10 races, you get 5 starts per driver. So right now, I am out of starts with 4 races left with Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney. I got 1 start left for Denny Hamlin, for Tyler Reddick, 2 starts left for Seabell, 3 starts left for William Byron. So yeah, I didn't load manage quite properly this year, so we're going to work on that for next year. But so the Fantasy Live lineup for NASCAR Fantasy Live here for Iowa is William Byron, Chase Briscoe winning the pole, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and I got Denny Hamlin in the garage. The head-to-heads, I got Bubba Wallace over Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell over Chase Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse and Josh Berry. I got Josh Berry, and then I got Ryan Blaney over William Byron. 22 races down, 4 races to go until the playoffs, and then we get the 10-race playoffs. I know there's a lot of online chatter about the playoffs and getting rid of it and going to the full 36-race schedule. I know veteran Mark Martin, all due respect, has his opinion, which is great. I responded to something last night where somebody put a picture of a bunch of legends. I think Rusty was in there, Dale Jr., Harvick, Mark Martin, somebody else, and said, these guys should be running NASCAR. My response to that was, what about Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Terry Labonte, and I think I've mentioned somebody else too. The guys that were the pioneers to those guys who built NASCAR for those guys to do what they did. And, well, I'm just saying, the driver should run it. Well, tell me a major sport out there where the powers to be that set everything is run by players, former players. There's not. Here's the thing, folks. What some people perceive as holy grail. Attendance, yeah. Compared to what it was in the 80s, yes, attendance is down. They quit reporting attendance in the early 2000s. So nobody can point to, in 2009, the attendance went from this number to this number. Prove it. Yes, I know. You see people You see, and we know that some places, some of the stands were taken out. Okay, I understand that. But there's no true number. But you also got to look at, if there's 100,000 people there and they pay $10 a ticket, and there's versus when there's 50,000 people there and they pay $30 a ticket, more revenue came in. Or if there's 20,000, they pay $50 a ticket, there's more revenue. So what the actual revenue is different than what total attendance is. You got to balance that out. Just like with TV ratings. Linear TV, cable box TV that you have to sit in your living room and watch is a dinosaur. I'm sorry, it is. Streaming is the evolution. Simulcasting from TV to streaming is also the new evolution. Again, the races on TNT that were on HBO Max. Today, the NBC race will be the first race that I've watched on linear TV since prior to the Coke 600. Everything that's been, obviously, Amazon streaming only. The 5 races on TNT, I watched on Max. So I haven't linear TV watched a NASCAR race since before the Coke 600. I'm not the only one like that. Even Kenny Wallace, everybody respects a hell out of Kenny Wallace's opinion sometimes. Even Kenny Wallace has said he doesn't sit down in front of his TV and watch these races. He's too busy racing. He watches recaps. He follows stuff online. He follows different reporters. He follows all the clips and stuff and gets everything he needs to know that happened in that race to talk about it on Coffee with Kenny the next day. Guess what? He's not the only one that does that. The world has changed. From the 1990s, when people gather around the TV for 5 hours to watch a NASCAR race, to 2025, the world has changed. What we do to take in entertainment and sports has completely changed. Yes, NASCAR, quote, has lost fans. Okay, here's the thing. Back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, I was an avid baseball fan. Avid baseball fan. I didn't miss the Braves game on TBS because I watched WCW Saturday night lead up to it. I didn't miss a Royals game on the radio. The only way I would miss these games is if they were past my bedtime when I was a kid, or if the game I had to get up for school the next day. And I was like, yeah, I can't stay up late and listen to it or watch it. That was it. As I grew up, as I got older, priorities change. As I've gotten older, I'm a casual of the casuals of casual of the casualist baseball fans. I watch opening day for the Royals. I might catch a day game here or there. I don't really watch Braves games anymore. I couldn't tell you half the players on that roster. But I still look at the standings from time to time, see where the Braves are, see where the Cardinals are, see where the Royals are. That's it. That's how I take in baseball in 2025 versus 1995. There's a lot of people that do that with NASCAR as well. I'm huge pro wrestling. If you follow my channel, you know this. I'm able to watch pro wrestling while I work. I have a job that I can do that. I have the mental capacity to do that. That's awesome. I can't do that with IndyCar racing or with Cars Tour, because here's the thing. Some of that is on streaming. Oh my God, there's that nasty word again. And I can't afford to do everything I want to do. Right now, NASCAR and pro wrestling are my 2 priorities. The other forms of racing that require streaming, I could care less. The point is, people take in the sport different in 2025 than they did in 1995. The point is, what worked in 1995 may not work in 2025. And a lot of people want the playoffs to go away. Okay, great, fine. If they go away, I like the playoffs. And I've said multiple times this is the best era ever. And I've said in a couple of videos recently why I think that. I like the playoffs. I like the elimination playoffs. If NASCAR announced tomorrow, 2026, full season points, no playoffs. Okay, great. That's awesome. Let's do it. But I want people to understand, when it comes to this time of year, race 20 through race 30, that 10-race stretch is going to mean absolutely nothing for full season points. Back in the day, and Larry McReynolds just talked about this. I know a lot of you don't like him now, that's fine. Other crew chiefs have said the same thing. You basically raced until Charlotte, Memorial Day weekend, to see what you had. Then you kind of knew where your season was going to go from there, and then you finished the season out. But again, my opinion, I'd rather have 10-race playoffs. If they go to 10-race chase, fine. I'll watch that too. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not going to be the one to go, well, if we had playoffs, we would have this. If we had regular season points, we have this. If we still had the Winston Cup points, we would have this. Everybody talks about this Ladford system, Winston Cup points, the greatest point system in the history of racing. How? How was that the greatest? What about the Great National Points? For those of you who don't know what the Great National Points is, go look it up. Anyway, the 2025 points with playoffs that are 4 races away. We had 13 different winners so far in 22 races. We could get to the magic 17. That would be awesome. So, right now, Chase Elliott with a win, leading points. William Byron with a win. Kyle Larson, 3 wins. Denny Hamlin, 4 wins. C. Bell with 3 wins. Top 5 in points. Top 5 is separated by 62 points. Yes, everybody's like, look how close it is. 5 races ago, William Byron had a 51-point lead. It hasn't been close all year, people. 6th in points right now, Tyler Reddick, plus 138 to the cut line. 4 races left. If he gets with 2 races left, if he's plus 122, he clinches the playoff spot. He has 71 points out of the regular season lead. That is the bonus points there for 15 bonus points. Now, remember, if somehow over the next 4 races, Tyler Reddick is able to jump 6 spots and win the regular season title and not win, he is guaranteed a playoff spot. Then if we still get 17 different winners, 2 winners don't make the playoffs. Point that out. No wins as a regular season champion. You are in the playoffs no matter how many winners there are. That's the chaos that I want to happen after Daytona. Ryan Blaney with a win. Chase Briscoe with a win. 7th and 8th. Alex Bowman, 9 plus 63. Chris Buescher, 10 plus 42. Bubba Wallace, 11th in points with a win. That Brickyard 400 champion Bubba Wallace. We are about to see a completely different Bubba Wallace that he's ever been in the NASCAR Cup Series. When he raced for Richard Petty Motorsports, the car wasn't competitive. We know that. Super Speedways, he got a couple seconds at Daytona, and that was it. So he wasn't on the bubble looking for playoffs. They were just top 20s was a win for them. When he got to 23-11 in 2021, he won that Talladega race, but that was already in the playoffs. He missed the playoffs. 2022, he was on the bubble the whole year. Couldn't win, couldn't make it in. 23, he was on the bubble the whole year. Obviously, didn't make playoffs. Or 22, it all runs together. So 22 is when he took over for the 45 for the playoffs, because it was under playoffs. And he won that race at Kansas, which didn't help him for his playoffs, but helped the team. 23, he made it, was on the bubble all year. 24 was on the bubble all year and didn't make it. This is the first time he's ever locked himself into the playoffs with multiple races left before the playoffs. He had to race 23, he had to race all the way down to Daytona to make the playoffs. He's in no matter what now. We're going to see a side of Bubba Wallace we've never seen before. Not on the bubble line, not on the cut line, not going to worry about this, making points. He can go for wins. I predict we get a second Bubba Wallace win in the next 4 weeks. Not saying it's coming in Iowa, but over the next 4 weeks, we get a second Bubba Wallace win. Alex Bowman plus 63. Bubba Logano, 12th in points with a win. Ross, 13th in points with a win. Ryan Preece, minus 42. Hopefully that drops some. I'm not a Ryan Preece fan. If you are, more power to you. I'm not. And that's fine. We can have our own. We can not like other drivers. And we can say, hey, I want this driver not to get points and not to finish a race. That's fine. But when we do it like, some people do with Bubba and say that blah, 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 blah. And then we say that, that's no. If you just say, hey, I hope he finishes last, cool, whatever. That's fine. Just don't add the other shit in front of it. Kyle Busch, minus 81. Yes, I have a win. I don't know. I just don't know. Ty Gibbs, minus 95. Austin Cindric, 17th in the win. AJ Allmendinger, 18th in the win. I know Color Racing has next week's Circle at Watkins Glen. AJ's best road course. There's one small problem. There's some dude driving the 88 that likes to win at road courses. So that could be a hell of a battle, SVG and AJ. Hey, Trackhouse, get Connor in next week, too. Let's have a three-way here. Just throwing it out there. Michael McDowell, 19th. John Hunter, 20th. Josh Berry, 21st for the win. Eric Jones, Carson Ostovar, Brett Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse, Zane Smith, they got to win. Shane Van Gisbergen with 3 wins. Todd Gilliland, Justin Haley, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Ty Dillon, Cole Custer, Noah Gragson, Riley Herbst, Cody Ware. That rounds out the 36 charter teams. Everybody's got to win except for those ones that already have wins to make it. Now, if we get to 17 different winners, obviously a winner doesn't make the playoffs. Right now, that's Josh Berry. I know people have their own opinion about Shane Van Gisbergen. He's got 3 wins. You can just hush it. He's got 3 wins. I know that if we had a full season points, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Wins would not matter to full season points. But hey, I know everybody points to 2024 and complains about Joey Logano. Here's the thing, and you can try me on this if you want, but don't hate the response that you get. There is not a situation that anybody can tell me, I hate the playoffs because of X, Y, and Z. Not personal opinion, that's different. I hate the playoffs because Joey Logano was champion last year with this average finish. I hate the playoffs because this person didn't win the championship and they had 9 wins. I hate the playoffs because this person had this and this person did this that year and it wasn't fair. I can find a similar situation and in full season points what you can point out in the playoffs. I know a lot of people like to bring up 2020 and Kevin Harvick couldn't even run for a championship and he had 8 wins. Well, Rusty Wallace finished second in points, had 10 wins. Next. Average finish. Well, Alan Quickie wasn't the best driver in 1992 and he won a championship. He didn't have most wins, most top 5s, most top 10s. Best average finish, but that was it. And there's been other drivers who've won championships without the best average finish. I can pull those up. Somebody comes and says, well, what if somebody, Denny Hamlin's actually said this. He goes, what if there's a letdown car and they take me out and cost me a championship? Well, in 1992, Ernie Irvan got into Davey Allison and caused Davey Allison to lose the championship. No matter how you get there, you go to the last race of the year with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the number is, with the ability to win a championship. Somebody in that field could cost somebody a championship, no matter the system. No matter if it's the 4 in the current system, no matter if they modify it and we go to a chase and there's 3 or 4, no matter if it's full season and there's 5. Somebody is going to that last race and get caught up in something that wasn't their own doing and cost them a championship. It's happened before. It will happen again. There's no 100% guarantee surefire. I know everybody's like, points is the only stat that matters. Okay, then why do we keep the other stuff? If points are the only thing that matters, why do we care about wins? Why do we care about top 5? What do we care about top 10s? Let's just get rid of those stats. So the only stat we see is points. So when during the race, instead of having the top 10 during the race, we'll just have the points. So Joe Sputnik has 40 points or 20 points as of right now. So-and-so has 19 points. If they finish where they're currently running, they have this many points. If they finish where they're if they lose a position, now this many points. That's all we need to put on the screen. No top 5, no top 10, no running order, just projected points. Then points matter. Until we do that, points isn't the only step that matters. Again, my opinion. Y'all may love it, y'all may hate it. I don't care. That's fine. It's just my opinion. But anyway, back to the Iowa Corn 350. You know how I kind of, that's the ADHD in me, just like getting on a tangent and, I need to get back on topic here. The 4 picks for the Iowa Corn 350 at Iowa Motor Speedway today, August 3rd. Damn what day it was. 4 picks, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.